It is a big
day.
show.
Yep.
Big day
big show.
here on the Flame Central podcast.
It's a big show.
Powered. Whoa, sorry, I didn't mean to be. You get COVID.
Yeah.
You get COVID. Well, we do have Kaden Salter, an exclusive interview
but
with
who's it
him.
powered by?
This is powered by
Thank
Alcova
you.
Mortgage.
Yeah.
Finally, Joe must be training for his mile run.
Yeah. That was my training right there.
That was it.
Yeah.
Good. Once a week.
Yeah.
Get a few pumps to the arm,
yeah,
and we're good.
Formal look great.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna need a big gust of wind to get you past that finish line. We talk about this podcast being a movement.
Yeah.
It might actually be true because we have.
Are you gonna steal my story?
No, I'm not stealing the story.
Okay.
I just
but
thought of another great story.
Guys,
It might be the same story I'm gonna tell you.
usually
We'll
we
save it
are
for the end. It's
we are completely off the rails on this show
Yeah.
today. It might hit a new level
Yeah.
because we have some story time to get to
Yeah.
a little bit later. We're going to talk a little Liberty Athletics first.
That's a good
So
call.
those people who actually come to this podcast
Yes.
Find out
for
what's
Liberty
going on.
Athletics, we'll tell you what's going on with all that, and then we're going to hit story time, a little bit later, like I said.
Biggest star in Liberty Athletics joining the show today.
He's the face of the
Right?
program.
Wouldn't you say?
Joe Yock is always on the
Well,
show.
No.
always
He's
on
the
the
mayor
show.
of the mountain.
I'm the mayor of the mountain.
Kaden Salter.
Yeah, Kaden Salter.
The mayor of the mountain, Kaden Salter. We ask him hard-hitting questions like, why is your helmet so big? To why did you stay at Liberty?
We did. We covered a lot of ground.
We did.
And he was
cover
great.
much. But let's talk about the CUSA 2024 predictions, preseason polls, all of that.
Preseason polls. Preseason.
Big shocker.
Pre-schmeezing.
Liberty,
Flames, number one.
18 of the possible 21st
Who
place.
didn't give him the two is what I
votes.
want to know.
We don't clarify that.
Yeah, they don't name names.
Yeah,
It's probably
I
your
think
guy.
there's a good reason.
It's
for
probably
that.
your guy. What's the guy that you're
Oh,
always
Chris
saying?
Vanini.
Yeah, Vanini.
Chris
It's
Vanini.
probably Vanini.
Chris
Does he get a
Vanini.
vote?
No, I like
Um,
Vanini. Vanini's a good dude.
Vanini's good dude. We have to bring him back.
Yeah.
Run it back with him. Liberty at number one, Western Kentucky, and second, Jack State. In Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, Sam Houston, La Tech, FIU, UTEP, and the newest member to the conference, Kennesaw State, coming in 10th. Okay, so we're gonna go through. First of all, do you guys agree with this overall?
No.
Okay. Well, that was quick.
What was your
Chelsea,
biggest, like, I would change that, or this team seems too high or too low?
I think New Mexico State's too high at 5th.
Okay.
Right. I think that place is probably. I obviously don't follow it that closely, but from
They lost
Jerry
everybody.
Kill leaving,
lost
and they lose
Diego
everybody.
Diego
Like
Pavia's gone.
Diego Pavia's gone.
I didn't realize Eli
I mean,
Stowers. Remember the
Stowers,
he
the
left.
big-
He's
he
playing
left.
tight end at Vanderbilt now.
Yeah.
And Star Thomas left.
Yeah.
The running back. He's a Duke.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
But I don't think WKU. I don't think they're in the number 2 spot. I think the sleeper teams, and I've always said this from the beginning, is that I think from a talent standpoint that Sam Houston State, Sam Houston, they're too low. They need to be up there. And then Louisiana Tech's always decent. I think they're a little bit low. The Kennesaw State coming into the conference, running the triple option,
It's a wild card.
right? And I'm telling you right now, telling you that this isn't one of those deals where you show up for 3 days, 4 days of practice, and all of a sudden you think you can defend the triple option. They're going to have a lot more success than what you think. And then Emily, one of you two had told me that didn't they redshirt a bunch? They redshirted a ton of people
So
because they
out.
knew they were making this transfer in, and so they were like, hey, let's get prepped for this. I think Kennesaw State's gonna be a lot better, and I think Sam Houston's gonna be a contender.
Okay, do you want to go through yours, or do you want to go through each little point for each school?
We can go through real quick.
Do you want to go through
I can
yours
just kind of
first?
go at it, say as we go.
Okay, so obviously number one, Liberty, Kaden Salter returning. 3 new starters on the offensive line. That was a strong core last year, but obviously having to fill the shoes of C.J. Daniels. We'll hear from Kaden Salter on that
The
wide
Flames
receiver
are going to
core.
be more talented than they've ever been.
Okay, and
a
then
conversation.
obviously the highlighted game here is September 28th at App State. But the Flames, you have to take care of business in your conference first, obviously, but they're looking for that college football playoff spot.
Liberty, I don't know if there's another conference, and this is just spitballing. I have no idea.
He's spitballing
Is
right
there?
now? Are you spitballing
Is there?
right now?
That's how Emily started the show. Is there another conference that has a far and away team that's favored to win more than Liberty? If you looked around the landscape of college football, like Liberty should be.
Mm-hmm.
No, we'll see what happens. Injuries, all those things happen. But there's not a team that I can think of in a conference that should be favored more than Liberty based off what they brought back and what they did a year ago.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
All right, so then we go to Western Kentucky. Tyson Helton has a new quarterback, most likely transfer, Texas State transfer, TJ Finley. Has a standout group of wide receivers, and the strength is in their backfield. What do you think about Western Kentucky?
So they were 8-5 last year. They lose Austin Reed, he graduated. They lose Malachi Corley, the receiver. That's the bigger loss. He was like a third-round pick to the Jets.
He's a good player.
But TJ Finley, fourth school. Last year, over 3,400 yards passing at Texas State. Here's the thing about Western Kentucky.
Fourth school.
You go into last year, and Western Kentucky, I feel like, kind of had the thought that, all right, some of the folks left Conference USA. These newbies are coming in. We're gonna show everybody.
Right.
We run this league now. Like this was their chance to be like, now this is our league.
Yeah.
It didn't go the way they expected. It was a disappointing season, 8-5, which doesn't sound that bad. They did pick up a win in a bowl game, but they thought they were the dudes.
Right.
And they got smacked around a little bit by some of these new guys. So I do think there is a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, a little bit of like, listen, we've got to kind of lock in a little bit more. Like there's something to prove for them this year. And you'll hear in our interview with Kaden Salter, like they're even talking about Liberty right now. Like they're talking about like, we got it. This is the team to beat. I do think they have a chance to be that number 2 team. And maybe just because there's been so much player movement, that's what makes this so hard. You look up and down and you're like, Jacksonville State, like they lost some quarterbacks. They don't know what they have there. They lost a ton on defense. Like, so it is a little bit iffy. I guess I would put them in the top 3. I don't know if I put them 2, but I think they're going to be there just based off of like, they've been a good program consistently. And they know they need a bounce back.
They allowed 28.7 points a game last season, so defense needs to improve. Anything on WKU?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that and I'm not a huge fan of this, the whole bouncing around transfer quarterback thing. Like when you've gone 4 schools, right? This is your 4th school. Like to me, it's like to win a championship, to be able to have that position solidified. That's why I think it was so huge for Liberty to be able to get Kaden Salter back. Like Malik Willis, back when he played, staying the 3 years that he was here. Kaden Salter being here back again. Like that, it's that recipe for when you think you're going to be really good and you end up with an 8-5 season.
At number 3, you have Jacksonville State, which I think that they were probably a team we can all agree that shocked us. Rich Rodriguez led them to a 9-4 season last season. 9 starters are back. Zion Webb departs, so quarterback position they have a trio of options.
Some guys, and they fall under this, and another team will as well, where you just go, okay, I trust the coach.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a coach that's like, oh boy, it's a big year for him, make or break. Like, Rich Rod has a system. It worked a year ago. Whatever the quarterback situation, they're going to be competitive. They did lose their defensive coordinator. That's a little bit of a concern. And they lost a lot on that side of the ball. But I think they've got it building there.
They're a very well-run program under Rich Rod. That's like the type of school that he belongs at, and I think that he can be very successful at. And I think they're going to be a top contender. I would, to the point, take them ahead of WKU.
I want to give some love to Athlon Sports because we are going from, or I am, by the way, going from their reports on all of this. So shout out to them for all of this great research. All right, Sam Houston coming in at number 4. This is a squad that lost 6 games by 10 points or less last season.
Liberty's biggest scare.
Including the biggest scare for the Flames last year. Holy smokes, I think my heart is still racing from that
that's
game.
4 on Athlon's list. That's not 4 on
Oh, yes,
on the
I'm sorry.
They're tied for 5th.
Yes, okay. So I'm going a little bit different from Athlon's number, putting Sam Houston at number 4. This preseason projections have them tied for 5th. Yes, I'm sorry.
And this is one team that 4th is Middle Tennessee in the Conference USA preseason poll. That's a team that I think is too high.
Athlon has them at 6.
I wouldn't put them that high. You have a new coach in Derek Mason, a defensive guy. They don't bring back much of anything on the defensive side. Remember Nick Vattiato, decent quarterback. They bring him back. They were 4-8 last year. I think first year I coached, Derek Mason didn't exactly have success at Vanderbilt. No one does, so to be fair about that. But that's too high for me. I would put them in the bottom half of the league.
Listen, here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. And you
The hashtag bottom line.
Hashtag bottom line. We haven't used that in a while.
Here's the hashtag bottom line.
Yeah.
Is that, what's today? July what? 20-something? 23rd?
22nd.
Second?
Yeah.
July 22nd,
Yeah.
right? At the end of the season, when they start doing all the bowl stuff and the Conference USA Championship stuff, you're going to go Liberty 1. Yeah. You're going to go Sam Houston State 2. Okay. Wow. You're going to go Jacksonville State 3. Okay. And you're going to go WKU 4. And then you two are going to tell all the folks on that date when it happens. You're going to say, we heard it first at Yacht Talk, baby.
Powered by Alcova Mortgage.
No, Sam Houston, I'm with you. They were 3-9 last year, and we've talked about it. They lost 6 games by 10 points or less.
Yeah.
Like, they were in it. That's a program that knows how to win. Casey Keeler's a stud of a coach. Like,
loaded with athletes.
Yeah, they'll be fun.
Especially on defense.
Did they redshirt a lot of guys last year too? Or
2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
loaded
right.
with athletes.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what the little tidbit on Sam Houston State is?
What's that?
Second half, I don't think Liberty scored. We can go back and research that, Matt. But as I recall, they rolled up a bunch of points in the first half, and the second half, I'm not sure if Liberty scored at all. Yeah. They shut them down. That was the one time you looked around, like for Liberty's offense, the Jamie Chao offense, that rolling up everybody. That second half for Sam Houston State, no, for a fact they didn't score at all, but they didn't score much, and they did move the ball because that team is loaded with athletes.
Okay, I guess I'm a little bit of a hot mess. So, like we said, Middle Tennessee preseason polls, CUSA has them at 4. Tied for 5th, New Mexico State. We've already covered the other Sam Houston.
That's gonna be a
so New Mexico State, Jerry Kill steps down. Obviously, Pavia is gone. So
listen, nobody won there before Jerry Kill. It's hard to win there after Jerry Kills. He's great.
Returning all 5 starters on the offensive line, but I don't have a quarterback.
Why is Louisiana Tech so low?
Well, new quarterback there as well.
I thought they were.
I think a team that could be better than
so that's coming in at 7. La Tech,
is FIU at 8. And I know they've never really been good. Mike McIntyre in his 3rd year now. Remember their quarterback, Kewan Jenkins. He was a freshman last year. Good athlete, had a good freshman year. I think they could finish somewhere around like 5-6, so a little higher than where they're at right now. They could be a team that surprises people a little bit.
Kewan Jenkins.
There's
going to be a few people out there that know what I'm referring to right there. Is one of the greatest videos of all time, Leroy Jenkins.
Okay, so FIU's defense had a difficult time stopping the run. 33.8 points a game in CUSA contests last season. The secondary, it says, could be one of the best in the league, though. So we'll see how they wind up. Like you said, they're at 8. UTEP at 9. What do you guys think?
New head coach,
the Hilltoppers.
Scotty Walden, like him a lot from Austin P. He's done a good job, but that's going to take
UTEP can't stop a nosebleed.
That's going to take a couple of years. Yeah. I like the hire, but it's going to take a couple of years. And then Kennesaw State at 10. You said, Joe, you think they're going to finish better than that.
Yeah, I think Kansas State will end in that 5-6 range, somewhere in there, 5-7 range. I think they're going to be better than what everybody's expecting them to be, especially because of the uniqueness of the offense that they run.
And they had success too at the FCS level just a few years ago.
Hey, they're doing really
Liberty,
good. All kinds of problems.
But obviously I think Liberty is the best team in this league, no doubt. But when you have that target on your back, you just have to keep, and I know this staff will do an incredible job of this, but like that focus each and every week. When you have that target on your back, last year, you're a newbie. You know, expectations are low, new head coach, all of that. But you're going to get the best effort from each and every one of these opponents this season. So it should be interesting.
And it's tough because you're going undefeated last year and like being shocked as an undefeated team that Liberty, I think, was pleasantly surprised that they got into the Fiesta Bowl. But now you start looking around and you're going, oh my goodness, we're going to have to beat East Carolina at home. Yeah. We're going to beat App State on the road. And then we're going to have to run the table. And you're looking at another undefeated season in order to have the opportunity to make the college football playoffs. And that's tough. Yeah. And last year was great, but I just hope the Liberty fans and fan base realize, just don't get spoiled over this thing. Right. Because this is a tough ask.
All it takes is a break here or there.
Break
you know
here.
What I mean?
Yeah, you go to Sam Houston State last year and they had 4 cracks
Toby Singleton doesn't get his hand on one of those passes. And
it's like you got things going your way.
And to your point, Liberty could be a better team. They could be a more talented team this year, and that doesn't necessarily equal at 12-0 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so you just got to be.
And I was talking with Coach Waits, Deion Waits, and he's like, I was getting texts all throughout last season. Like, it's just going undefeated, and you can say, people are going to say, oh, well, they didn't play anyone, yada, yada. But just the fact of going undefeated in a college football season, I mean, yes, you get spoiled when you see it from Georgia and the Alabamas and stuff like that, but it's a completely different level altogether. But it's just, I don't think that anyone really realizes how difficult that was for the Flames to do.
Is there a ranking out there? Have they come out with this yet? I haven't seen it yet, but have they come out with the, like, hey, here's the group of 5 people that where SMU, Tulane, where their preseason ranked at? Liberty.
SMU's not
whoever
G5 anymore, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But whoever the teams are left, like, is Liberty at the top of the
I've seen
preseason,
some people that put
heap?
out like their power rankings, and Liberty is right there at the top.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I saw put out. It may have been Benini or somebody. But yeah, Liberty's right there.
We do need to get him on leading up to the season. I gotta make that happen.
Send
All
him a
right, but
bobblehead.
before we get to new head baseball coach Bradley LaCroix, and then we'll talk a little bit about our story time. Interesting stories coming your way. Let's get to this conversation with Kaden Salter. For the first time ever, we have Liberty quarterback Kaden Salter on the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. Check out the bling, people.
Yeah.
Like, this is...
Joe, I'm picturing an Alcova
I
logo
need a big A.
on
I need a big
chain
A.
that you could do.
I'll go gold, you go silver.
Yeah.
We got it all covered.
Yeah, I like that. I like
That'd
that. First off, I hope you don't feel slighted that it took this long for us to have you on the podcast.
We tried.
Yeah, we tried before. The first time I was sick. Then after that, they just hit us up again about it.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
now I'm here.
He's here.
Now
He's
I'm
got
here.
him here.
That's
One
all
way or
that
the other, we
matters.
made it happen.
That's all that matters. We have him here. Okay, let's run it back because after the Fiesta Bowl, Kaden Salter said that he is went in the transfer portal. All of us, maybe it was
There's
me,
some nerves going on.
hitting the panic button. Like, I have an emotional attack. Like, I don't like when people leave. You know,
And
it's
house
a
up for
problem.
sale. She
It was a
gone.
problem.
She's like, I'm out.
I'm like, come on, Queso.
Yeah.
But then on January 5th, you post, running it back, unfinished business. My question to you, Kaden, is what made you stay?
The thing that it was is like how comfortable that I feel here at Liberty. Just all the support that I had from just the previous situation coming here from Tennessee, and just the way that the opportunity that I got here is, I mean, it was something that I've dreamed of, and just I'm the quarterback at Liberty University. I'm the face of the school here already, so why try to leave and go have to re-prove myself at another university? The coaching staff here, I mean, I love those guys, and the players. I mean, everybody's just so tight here, and it was like at that point it was like money couldn't buy the love that I felt here, and that's how it came down to me for me to stay here at Liberty.
Wow, that's awesome.
You talk about that offense. Like, I mean, we were sitting here 1 year ago, and we're having conversations about who's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, we went into game one. I remember asking Coach Chadwell when they got off the bus, you want to say who the quarterback's going to be? He's like, you're just going to have to wait and see. Like, a year later, you're sitting here rocking the 7 and knowing that you're the dude. Like, how much different do you feel now than you felt a year ago?
I mean, most definitely way more comfortable, but like the work that I put in just to get here is something that like I just got to know that it can all go away that fast. I just got to keep on working and being the person that I've been. So just last year we was all competing for that spot, and at the end of the day I came down to win it. So I had to just keep on proving myself day by day and game by game that I won that spot for a reason. It wasn't given to me. I went out, I watched the film that I needed to watch, and was studying the playbook, the new plays that we brought in with the new staff and the new offense. I mean, I've never ran a triple option offense until last year, but it seems like that's the best offensive fit for me.
Yeah.
44 touchdowns later. I mean,
Before Joe goes, what is the most difficult thing to learn about Jamie Chadwell's offense?
Maybe, I mean, at first it was the run game because you have so many different reads. Like sometimes you dual reading, sometimes you read one person, pitch off this person. But other than that, once I actually start connecting with it, everything started coming together, and it made it way more easier. Just had to keep on being in that film room and learning, and really laying up late nights, imagining the plays and imagining who my reads would be. So then after that, it's just how the defense just keep on moving around. So you gotta know how to make this check protection and make that check protection, but everybody came together and we made it work.
Yeah, I would say so.
With that being said, as you know, last year a big part of it was, hey, this is a new offense and we don't want to throw everything on you at once. But obviously it was more success as it continued to grow. Are you to the point now where, hey, you feel with Coach Corn, Coach Chadwell, everything's in, and now we're just going to fine tune it? Or is it like you, in talking with them, hey, we got 80% in, but there's another 20% out there that we haven't even touched yet?
Yeah, that's the thing. So we've been doing OTAs and things like that. We usually when they first got here, we started off with straight basic plays, but first OTAs we was coming out the gate. So I'm already knowing once we actually get deeper into the season, they're gonna have some more things to throw at me. But OTAs was based off of the greater plays that we had last year. So we put those plays in first, and I'm sure we're finna build off of those plays and put way more plays on my plate for sure.
So starting the season, what percentage do you think it would be at?
Probably. Wait, what do you mean? What percentage?
In terms of the
Like
playbook,
the playbook.
is it all?
Yeah.
Is it? You feel like you got a pretty good grip on it all by now?
I mean, I do personally, but we do have transfers that just came in and things like that. So just as long as when fall camp started, the new guys that did come in after spring, just making sure everybody's connecting. We've been doing OTAs, making sure on Saturdays, weekends, we all go throw the routes, get the timing down, things like that. So fewer new receivers that I haven't even been able to throw with yet because they've been running with maybe the 2s and the 3s so they can start getting the flow of the plays and the playbook. So me personally, I'm good with it, but it's based on what the transfers come in and how they're working and bringing what they got to bring to the table to learn that playbook.
So with that being said, because you look at last year and sort of every quarterback is, what are the weapons that I have around me, right? And so having CJ there last year, okay, now CJ's not here anymore, but you have other guys that have come in. What is your level of comfortability with the guys that have come in? And also, who are some of the guys that you feel as if this year, this dude's a dude you got to keep an eye on. They're going to stand out.
Most definitely. I mean, Juju came in. He came in on fire. They threw him right in the pot, really. So he's been working at the A-back with AB played last year. So he should be the guy that replaces AB. But Tyson Mobley, he's been doing pretty good out there. He's a coastal guy, so he's pretty familiar with the playbook. So it wasn't really hard for him to come in and understand what we was doing and everything already. Dante, he's for sure going to be a deep threat. I mean, his burst of speed is really crazy. I watched Skelly the other day. Jaden Bradford threw him a deep post and just went and got it. In 707 to Skelly, he went and got it. So.
Okay, so that you feel good about your deep threat, because I know that was a concern going in, hey, we don't have that C.J. Daniels dude to really stretch the field, but you feel confident that could be the guy.
I feel like it's more weapons. We had C.J. last year, he was my main target and my main weapon, but this year I feel like I'll be able to spread it out more to different people.
And people can't take away one option.
You can't. It'll be hard to just take away one option, try to put 2 on top of CJ, 2 on top of one person, because it's weapons everywhere this year.
And you got the tight ends
we got the depth. Bentley Henshaw is still here. Jacob came in. He's doing his thing. Reese Smith.
Yeah.
We got a lot
Joe's
of
call
weapons.
when Bentley makes a good play?
Yeah.
What is it?
You don't know that? Take a ride in my Bentley Henshaw.
I know.
He didn't know you were that guy. He knows I'm that guy.
I knew it.
Oh, I've heard that before.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
Do you ever feel, Kaden, like your passing ability is underrated because you're so electric running the football?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like my passing ability is underrated, but once the ball goes in the air and everything that I do is just. It all comes together, my running, then my passing. But everybody does look at me kind of as a runner based on me putting up 1,000 rushing yards last year. But you have to look at the fact that wasn't just me taking off running. Those was coming from making a play out of nothing. So, I was talking to an NFL coach at the Elite 11 thing, and I asked him about that, and he was like, it's based on, are you just taking it and running, or are you making plays out of nothing when you're doing that? And when I thought about it, I'm like, basically that was me making plays out of nothing, where I got that's kind of where I got most of my rushing yards from. So other than that, I just have to show him, prove to him again this year how good my arm is.
Yeah.
So nearly 3,000 passing yards, 32 passing touchdowns, over 1,000 rushing yards, like you said, 12 rushing touchdowns. A lot of people are obsessed with stats, right? Yeah. What stat are you most locked into?
Passing yards. I want to be able to show my arm off some more. I mean, last year, like I said, I rushed for 1,000 yards, so I proved that I can run the ball already. I'm not a scary quarterback that doesn't want to run the ball. So passing yards more is something that I want to improve, get over that 3K mark, and just be able to still show my legs at the same time when I need to, and just be able to be over that 3,000 mark as a quarterback is something that I want to do next year.
And a way that you can get there, Manning Passing Academy, where you went this past summer. What did you learn?
Yeah, I mean, working with those guys, it was amazing. Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, those were some great people right there. It was more so them just teaching us little basics. Like me, I don't really go under the center, so most of the things that we was doing there was like under the center things and just throwing routes on there. Like we were all college quarterbacks, so it wasn't more like them just teaching us things what to do. It was more them giving us drills to do and just being able to show our arms off in front of all of the kids that came there for us to coach up on and the fans that was there for everybody. So it was most definitely a great experience. The kids was amazing. The players was amazing. It was a most definitely lifetime experience.
With you saying that you're obviously you are the face of the program and the leader in that locker room, what do you feel as if your best leadership qualities are?
Maybe keeping everybody up. Like I don't like to see people down. Like people see me after that Oregon game, we just got whooped. But at the end of the day, I was still walking off the field with a smile on my face, just blessed for the opportunity to be there. Like just not regretting what we were doing. Like we wake up every day 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and come out to do what we love. And you have to be like, for you to love it, you're doing it. And like if you didn't love it, you wouldn't be getting up at 6:30 in the morning and doing these type of things that we do. Like this is not a regular day life for people, and we're out here living a dream that we always imagined of. Like everybody that's in college football, whether they knew it or not, God put us all here at universities and put us here to put other people at their universities for a reason, everybody to come together. So just making sure everybody stays up at all times, the downs and the ups, and just remaining humble.
Unity.
Yeah, you're getting them up. Emily actually has something I know that she wants to talk to you about you talking to opponents on the field. You wanted to talk.
First of all,
I defended you on this.
First of all, we do have a true-false segment coming in just a moment. We have a little fun true-false. We purposely didn't tell Joe about this.
Joe's better with, he kind of gets analysis. Was it paralysis by analysis? You don't want to put too much on it.
Less is more. But true or false, Emily Austin told you to do the salt celebration.
She did.
Tell the people right now. So is that what you're talking about?
No,
or when he danced with the cheerleader?
Here's what Emily would do. This was like a weekly occurrence on the podcast. She would look in the camera and be like, Kaden, if you're watching, we can't have you talking to the opponent and picking up a flag. I'm worried that wasn't it. She had a big issue with that.
I was worried of you talking to the opponents. I like this.
I
like this with the cheerleaders. And you're like,
she was getting concerned with that. Yeah.
I didn't like I just get worried because I don't want you, I want everyone
She doesn't want you to get in trouble. Yeah. She's very motherly.
I mean,
she doesn't want you in trouble.
I really whatever comes to my mind after I score a touchdown or something, I do it.
Yeah. You're not thinking about what would Emily want me to do right now.
It was just out there having fun. Like my whole life, the football field is just a playground. Like the love for football that I have, I don't know, like.
I've got some good touchdown dances. We can work on some.
Oh my gosh. No.
I do have another question though. The NCAA College Football 25 just came out, and I saw that Quentin Cooley is rated faster than you.
Oh my gosh!
What did you like? Is that legit? Like, what did you think about that?
I mean, I told Cooley because Coach Corn brother, Coach Corn, he posted on Twitter. He was the first one that I seen it, and he was like, I just want to show you that Quentin Cooley faster than you. So we got to practice the next day, and it was a speed day. I'm like, Cooley, we got to line it up right now.
Okay.
We got to line it up right now and send it to EA Sports. But Cooley even knows it's wrong. So
okay,
he backed down.
I was about to say
because we could FaceTime Cooley right now and settle this.
Should we talk to him because I messaged him and I go, hey Cooley, you might be getting a call from us, and he goes, This is about the speed, ain't it? So let's just call it
Let's see if
Cooley.
he
answers.
We're calling him.
Let's see it.
Hey, that's an Alcova Mortgage official NIL deal.
Let's
guy
see if he
right there.
answers.
Let's see.
Let's see, he's not even gonna
If
pick
not,
up.
he might be running sprints right
yeah,
now.
he's probably
He's probably not going to
he's
pick
not
up.
even gonna pick up.
But that's
No,
funny. When
that's
he
huge.
said it's about the speed, ain't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yep.
So how did those? Did he?
No, he's not.
He didn't step up to the challenge. Did he? No, I didn't.
He knew that it was
Yeah.
that was wrong, right?
That's all right.
Have you
We've all got a
played?
different
Have you
role.
I
played the
haven't-
game yet?
It's downloading right now.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Better,
Okay.
better.
All right.
Come out Friday, isn't it? Right?
I think for everybody else, it's Friday.
it
If you
takes a
got
long
like the early
yeah.
like code or whatever, you could get it earlier.
So like we said earlier in the show, there was a quarterback competition last year. Now you are looked at as the leader in the face of this program and in that quarterback room. What gives you the confidence that these guys can help you improve? Because when there's that battle going on, you always like are going to be one up and like proving yourself. How does that continue with the competition in that room?
Right now, it's more like me still. I mean, the quarterbacks that we got right now, Ryan Berger, Nate Hampton, Miles, Jaden Bradford, they're extremely smart players. They all came in. Nate's been here, so of course he's been knowing the playbook and things like that. But Jaden Bradford, Miles, and Ryan Berger, I mean, they instantly came in, knew to start exactly knowing what to do. Like, I mean, we just got to keep getting each other better at this point. Like, of course, I'm the man, but I can still teach them certain things in gameplay when it comes a little faster than how it is at practice when we're just running through things and stuff like that. It's like just being able to just keep on teaching them like the little things about our playbook and how sometimes you can just hand it off and sometimes you can just do this, that, the third. But it's more like just still being able to learn the defenses and still knowing how to pick up those blitzes that you don't see or things like that, just the little checks that we have. But other than that, like we are still working together in the playbook. It's still things that they can teach me up on, like a few formations that I know to play to, but the formation, I wouldn't be able to draw up the formation right there just from the back of my head. But hey, Nate, can you help me with this formation? Boom, he'll help me out right there. Yeah. So it's little things like that, just still teaching up on each other and picking up on the little things.
Yeah.
What game are you looking forward to most on the schedule this year? Do you have one?
Oh boy.
Maybe App State. Everybody say that one gets pretty lit.
It's already sold out.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's big.
Have you ever been there? Have you ever been to App State?
No,
It's a
no,
cool
I
place.
haven't.
Cool.
A lot
Cool
of Berger told me a little.
Well, that's
about
true.
it,
Yeah,
so.
he know.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do a little true false.
Okay, let's
All
go.
right. All right, you can. You're going last.
Let's go.
We're going
Let's go.
2 each. Okay.
2 each.
You have time to
So
think about
so
it.
you have time. We'll start with Matt Warner.
True or false? The best high school football players come from the state of Texas.
True.
How much conversation is there about that in the locker room?
I mean, it's a lot.
It's all the Florida boys,
It's
isn't
the
it?
Florida and
Yeah.
the Georgia
Louisiana.
players.
Yeah.
I
Right?
mean,
I don't know.
not really
Right,
Louisiana.
right. Aren't a little
Yeah.
confident
Well,
about.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm for it.
probably
So.
does.
I don't think I really talked to Brylan about the high school
Texas high school
football,
football's
but,
just
like it's
different.
Texas high school
It's
football.
different.
Like I mean, maybe the Georgia kids and the Florida kids, they always have something to say about it, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna say my little 2 cents, then I'm gonna just walk away because it's nothing
Deep
else
down
to
they
speak
know.
on. Like,
Deep down
'cause
they
I
know.
Like,
Yeah, they know.
Okay. True or false? You should be a Heisman candidate this upcoming season.
true.
True? Oh, that's pretty simple. Yeah, there you go.
He doesn't even need to explain.
I'm going to say
any of
right
it.
now, Kaden, that the guy who had the guts to come out first and make that statement, you're very on Matt Warner. You said it. You said, can we finally say it?
Yeah, it was late in the year.
It was late in the year, and he said it.
It was
He
late
said-
in the year.
Because I was like, ooh, I don't know if anybody wants to say that yet.
And then
he
once you
came
started
out,
laying it all out,
Yep, he
and
started-
what you done in your
he-
numbers,
he-
it's
he
like,
broke the news.
how is it
It
not?
was like, whoa.
How is it not?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you just, that's like a nice byproduct of just doing all those things that you talk about. You know what I mean? All the hard work, like, yeah.
Wait, Joe. Joe's going for a true
Oh,
false.
did you have one?
Do you have one?
No, I wasn't
Okay,
even
all right,
prepared.
all right,
I can think of
about
one.
it.
though.
That's what I just
all right,
said.
all right,
You
I got
think
one, I
of
got
it
one.
while we go.
I thought
You
you
did not-
did not
see,
explain
you-
any of
I
this
know.
to me. I
Joe,
thought you were going to tell.
Joe, I literally just said
No,
Matt's going to
stop.
start
No,
while
stop.
we go. You think of
This
one.
is- yeah.
We have better chemistry than this. I
I'm sorry,
swear.
kid. You had to see this. True or false? Your helmet is bigger than anyone else's on the team.
It might be
Is
true.
that true? All right, let me ask you
Why?
this.
Is
Do
it-
you wear a different style helmet?
Yes, I mean, they supposed to. I got it resized. Something got messed up in the
Oh, so
helmet.
it's fixed.
So yeah, it got fixed. But still, my new one, TJ ended up having to like use my helmet for a little picture because he's supposed to be getting the same helmet that I had, the same style. And he put it on. It was still bigger than him. Like TJ Green. TJ. And he still got all the hair. So like.
How?
TJ Bush, not Green.
TJ Bush. That makes more sense. Yeah.
I was like, he's coming back.
So I'm like, but I'm not gonna lie. My whole life, I've always wore a large helmet.
Okay.
Even since middle school.
What size hat do you wear?
I don't know. I don't even wear hats.
When you wear a snapback, how many snaps are actually
He leaves
snaps?
it, he leaves
keep
it open.
Like, maybe like 3.
3 snaps. Okay. That's pretty big. Yeah.
True or false?
Okay.
True or false, Kaden? In the first season of the college football playoffs, will the Liberty Flames football team make the playoffs?
The 12 team.
12-team playoff.
True.
There you go.
I mean, you got to run the table, baby.
Once we run the table, just like last year, they were not gonna have a choice but to put us in that spot. We will be the best G5 team to be able to get that spot.
Do you
right
feel
there.
like that target is going to be a whole lot bigger? Like you're especially in conference, you're the Super Bowl. You know?
I mean, I got boys that plays at all other schools. Like one of my mans just transferred to WKU, and he say they coach. That's all they talk about is how they got to stop me and beat Liberty.
Yeah.
So like he said, they coach calls me the Patrick Mahomes of CUSA.
Oh, okay. All right.
So-
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
So, but like, we're ready for it. Our coaches tell us every day, like we're the target in this conference, and everybody's gonna want us, and we're ready for it. Only team that we playing every week is Liberty, just like last year, just playing against ourselves.
That's good.
All right, true or false? I feel like this one stinks. Matt and Joe are the best duo in a broadcast booth in college.
He doesn't know.
And then I'm like, this guy doesn't even know the Billy Hanshaw thing. He's definitely never listened to a Liberty broadcast.
I for sure heard the Billy riding in my Billy Hanshaw, watching the highlights on Twitter.
So my on the fly, this is hard for Joe to do, but I'll do one. True or false? This coaching staff will be able to outdo the post-game celebrations from last season.
I don't know about that. That
That's
was
gonna
last
be
year.
awesome.
Was after the games, after every win that we had, it was pretty lit in the locker room.
Was the mariachi band
fun.
one your favorite?
UTEP?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
had to be. They just came in with a real life band. So like,
Who does that?
it's Coach Scott.
I love
Coach
it.
Scott does that.
Coach Scott's awesome. Okay.
I've got one more.
You got one more? Great, go ahead.
See, Joe has to have people help him set up.
True or false, Kaden? Will Joe Yock run a sub 8-minute mile?
True.
Thank you.
Kaden, whose side are you on?
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Do you
Dog
know how
right
many
there.
laps a mile is?
That's my
That's
dog.
less than
4
2
laps.
minutes of every lap.
laps, baby.
Yeah, right.
Easy.
Okay, on a serious note, one last thing from me. I remember you walking in the LFC for the first time coming from Tennessee. How do you think that you've grown when you look back at that young man who came on this campus for the first time? How have you grown on and off the field, really?
I mean, I've grown so much, like, just, I can't even explain it, but like, I personally, I know how much I've grown, just how much more passion for football that I had to realize that I realized how much I loved football after my Tennessee incident. Like, it was the first few nights after that, I was just sitting in a room, calling my mom, talking to my mom, trying to figure out my next move. And once I figured out my next move, I just knew that I had to come in and lock in on what the main thing was. So just being able to get into Liberty, being able to sit and talk to all my friends and just speak up on everything. Because Amarian Williams, he was the dude that put me on Liberty, literally. I posted on Snapchat, I'm in the transfer portal. I guess they was already at lunch and he texted Coach Huntley. Back when Coach Huntley was here, then literally like 2 days later, Coach Freeze texted me. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a guy right there. So, but it's,
What has
I
Liberty
can't
meant
even,
to you?
Liberty right now, not even right now, but just Liberty, since I got to Liberty, it's been nothing but love. Just how they even took me from the situation that I had that quick. Like, it was a lot of schools not even wanting to talk to me because of that. But the chance that Liberty gave me and how much I proceeded here, just learning from behind Malik Willis, his time being here, learning from JB, his time being here, learning from Trey Lowe, his time being here. Like, those was all vets when I first got here. So, like, just been able to learn from all the quarterbacks that's been here, whether they was a starter or not. Just Charlie Brewer, he was a vet. So just taking in all of those things from them, learning how a quarterback is supposed to move was one of the biggest things that I had to change. I wasn't moving like a quarterback. I was moving like maybe a defensive linebacker or something. Yeah. And I just had to realize like that's not how it was supposed to be. And once I realized that and start putting all my time into talking to God late nights and watching this film that I needed to watch and just making sure my body was right, that's when everything started clicking together for me. Then I guess last season was one that I knew that I needed in the books. And once I got named that starting spot, I just had to take it from there, and that's exactly what I did. And now that I had that success, I'm sure a lot of people was thinking I'm going to keep holding that success with me, but me personally, I've already let that go, and I'm focused on this next season, like fall camps in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I can't wait for it. So I'm just ready to see how we're gonna do this year with all of the new guys that came in and my old lines, captain, the leader of that, Jordan White and Big X. So I'm just excited for this season and blessed to be here still.
Awesome. Yeah, Big X. I saw on the EA Sports game, he like flattened somebody.
Yeah, I did see that.
He's a big boy. Like he's gonna be helping you out again this year. Yeah. All right, guys, you got anything else?
No.
Great.
Kaden, I am so the line that's sticking with me is no money could buy the love that you felt here, and that I just can't tell you how blessed we are to have you leading this program here on the mountain, and you've done a great job, and we're just really grateful to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Kaden.
Thanks for your time, Kaden. Very, very impressed with this interview with Kaden. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for football to start.
You can tell he's matured a lot, right? This is what you want
much more mature,
from a player in your program. You see him growing up, the way he talks about his role as a quarterback, and even that quarterback room, how he is helping the guys and they help him, and he's willing to take that help from guys that may not even see the field, right? Just a maturity that I think we've seen from him over the last, year and a half probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that when you have that much success and everybody's telling you how great you are, is the people who aren't extremely hungry, right? They have a tendency to pull back the reins and sit on that success. You see him being very driven forward to become better than he was before. So I'm excited. What I'm excited about is I look forward to talking to Willie Korn and saying, okay, Willie, here's what more do you expect from him this year? Right? And be specific. Where pocket passing, throwing on the run, whatever all the reading defenses, whatever a greater grasp of the total offense that they can put in, other things they can do, whatever all those things are, and then measuring those things as they happen throughout the year. And the one thing you do get from Willie Korn in my interaction with Willie is that exact thing, is that his hunger to get better. Instead of like, hey, I'm already good enough. I'm the big man on campus here. I'm just going through the motions. My good is good enough or better than everybody else's. You don't see that. And I think that's going to be a big part of his game coming up this season.
How much more do you think he has to prove?
I think he does. I mean, that's what I was going to say is like, you could say, it'd be easy to sit back and be like, oh, what a great season I had. But in terms of the national landscape and in terms of the next level, like there's still a lot out there for him to prove, right? Like there's still a lot for him to attain. When you start thinking about like, okay, what could he do? Like where could he be drafted? Like could he be a Heisman finalist? Those kind of things are out there for him, and it seems like they're motivating him. He's not talking about the 44 touchdowns from a year ago, because what everybody say a year ago? Oh, you never played anybody. Like, right? So like that's what he's heard. So okay, let's go do it again. And let's show you how I've grown on the field in terms of my skill set, and get that respect nationally, which is great, but also put himself in a position beyond Liberty to continue that career at the next level.
You know what, the other part of it that I think is going to be really fun to watch or to see what's going to happen is with the loss of C.J. Daniels, right? Here's the reality of it. We remember this back in the day when Demario Douglas was here. When times got tight and the bullets were flying and it's like something's got to happen right now, the ball got into Demario Douglas's hands and he made the plays, right?
Because they had that trust factor.
They had that trust factor and the skill factor. I think it's going to be fun to watch from the receiving core who is the guy that's going to separate themselves to say, okay, when the bullets start flying, we need to get the ball to this guy. Obviously, last year, that was C.J. Daniels. Yeah. And this year, I don't know right now who that guy's going to be, but it's going to be fun to watch. There's so much competition and depth at that position now that it's going to be fun to watch to see who is that guy that steps up and becomes Kaden Salter's guy.
Yeah.
That's
scary.
Yeah.
If you're one of these other 9 teams we just ran through, and you went into last year not just saying you had to stop C.J. Daniels, but you knew if you somehow contained him, you took away a huge part of that offense. Mm-hmm. Now you go into this year saying, Kaden Salter maturing in the offense, going through his progressions probably better than you would imagine than he did even a year ago, first year in the offense. Like, that's scary.
Yep.
That's really scary.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Coming
Oh,
quick.
we have some new football players on campus as well. And who do they call for media training? Actually, why would they call us? Why did they call us? We had fun with some media training with those guys.
Good kids.
Good to see the new faces and all that, and excited to see them in camp. I cannot believe fall camp starts July 31st, so we are less than 10 days away from that. We actually need to find out when our photo shoot is. You know, we do like a preseason photo shoot.
It's been a couple years.
It has. I've changed quite a bit.
On that though, isn't it classic when you see someone's like that and you see their headshot and you're like, that was like 12 years ago. Like, you're not fooling anybody.
There is no way. New head baseball coach on the mountain coming from VCU. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we have Bradley LaCroix coming to lead this baseball program that was announced last week. What does this say about Liberty's program and just where it's at in terms of him coming from VCU, which is, it's not like that's like a no-name baseball program. So what does that say about Liberty?
Well, it's a desirable place to be, and the facilities are top-notch and getting better as they're building out the player development center there alongside the left field line. But yeah, he was at 2 years of ECU, just led them to a regional this past year. So he was building something there, and to leave that to come to Liberty, it does say a lot about the potential of this program. We've said that for a long time. We've seen it at times, you know? Scott Jackson made, 3 straight NCAA regionals. We know how good this program can be. And so for him to kind of leave what he was building to come, in some ways, start over here just says a lot about the potential of this place compared to some other programs.
Right. You know, I watched the interview that he did with Nick Pierce. Yeah. And in that, and he talks, really the 2 things that he talked about were, the facilities, potential facilities, what's coming down the pipe here. And then he talked about his relationship with the players, right? And like the depth of keeping a unified group in together. So when you take that, the group of players and the unity of those players together and his relationship with the players backed up with the facilities, that I believe those are 2 of the top things for a winning recipe.
But you talked about that last week, so he probably watched the podcast and was like, that's good, what Yak said, that was good.
I think Ian watched the podcast, and then Ian said, Joe makes a great point there. Yeah. Not that he wasn't thinking
literally,
about it.
But this was the classic example of we taped the podcast in the morning, and then by the time it's out, like it was like, what type of person would you want to hire? Yada yada, and it's like, all right, good, a podcast, good job, all right, and it's like, Liberty is hired, and it's like, we should have gone back and dropped in like one of us being like, I really think this LaCroix guy. That's somebody you might want to keep an eye on.
Keep an eye on LaCroix.
Have the audio level like be completely different, like it's like from a cell phone or something.
Yeah, it's like the Godzilla movies. Our mouths are moving and words are different. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm always interested in like how. Did LaCroix call Ian? Like, how did that whole thing happen in like the hiring process? I'm always so interested in that. So we are going to get Coach. He's on the recruiting trail right now. But and remember, CUSA conference tournament is here at Liberty this upcoming season for baseball. Ooh. So that'll be interesting to host that as well. But we'll see what shakes out with the baseball program. And I don't know enough about like the transfer portal. I think it's closed.
We can get into that with Coach.
But we'll get in with that. With Coach. Story time. Matt, like I said earlier in the show, the podcast, the Flame Sister podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage is a movement.
So I'm at church yesterday. Turn around, talking with a guy that you know well, and he said, I want to introduce you to my in-laws. I said, I'd love to meet you. And the wife says, we are big fans. I'm like, oh, really? They're like, we love the show.
Me why
we love
have
the show.
No lives and
the husband goes, love it. He goes, actually, I was driving down the road the other day, saw Joe Yock walking down the road. And I rolled down the window and said, "You training for that mile?" And he said, Joe looked at me like he didn't know what I was talking about, but finally he kind of caught up. I said, "That's typical." But people are invested, Joe.
They're invested.
They're invested. They want to see. They want to see you complete the mile. So it's not just us. It's Flames Nation that are all invested.
Oh, it'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I'm not putting my money on it.
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
So then I'm at a wedding this weekend, Saturday night, and I sit down and I have this couple lean over to me. "We love the podcast. The podcast. You guys are hilarious. You're huge fans. Keep doing what you're doing on Flame Central." I'm like, "What do you guys don't have anything else better to do?"
It's where it's hard to
It's
go
summer.
out on the town. You know?
Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous. What are you doing, Joe?
This has to do with the thing. Keep going. Tell me when you're ready for my story. 'Cause it's
Okay.
Good.
So then there's like a charter bus that like picked up a bunch of us friends and family from one person's house, drove us. It's like a 45 minute
wedding.
drive to this wedding in Bedford. We are backing up. The driver is backing up, and he could like hit a rock or something. The bus kind of did one of these, right? Well, then we thought he was just gonna pull back forward because, it was like fine to go over the rock, but we're clearly now in the entire entry of this like farm, like wedding venue. Then he keeps backing up. The front tire goes over a massive boulder, okay? We were like on top of this boulder and the bus almost flipped.
Get
on its
outta
side.
here.
Emily does not have great history with
like,
vehicles
what is with me
rolling?
and
Yeah.
flipping over in vehicles? I don't know. So then the bus door won't shut. And if the bus door is not shut, it makes this sound. And the bus, it was just like open.
It's beeping like crazy.
They drove the whole way with the door open.
The whole way with the door open. So then we're like 10 minutes over this.
This is a
like,
disaster.
the-
Trump would call this a total disaster.
So apparently the driver completely ruined all the landscaping and whatever happened to the boulder. I don't know who won. The whole side of the bus is like damaged and broken, on the side. And then you have it must have broke something underneath the bus when we like hit.
Leaking. Yeah.
It's
So
leaking.
we're driving down the road and everybody just smells something's burning.
Oh,
It was. I survived. I'm okay.
She's okay.
It was a disaster, and I'm in the front seat. Like I can put my hand out the window window.
She's hanging her
the
head
door.
out the window.
The door is just every turn we make. It's just like flapping open and shut. It was terrifying, but.
wow.
We're all here. We made it, and
Glad you pulled through.
not sure what fines that guy's gonna get, but they're not
Oh,
He
gonna.
may
get
not have a
paid.
job this morning.
Yeah, I don't think he's employed.
I mean, that is outstanding.
But-
Oh, poor thing. My story, I got two stories actually.
Okay.
Double story time. So back to the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. So I'm on a fishing trip with my nephew. And
Joey
my,
Freshwater.
My nephew, Joey Freshwater. Joey Freshwater, Joey Big Fish Freshwater is on a fishing trip, and I'm with my nephew, Matt Yock, right? And Matt is a truck driver, right? So he drives truck. He lives out in Wisconsin. He drives truck. I said, Matt, those are long trips. What are you doing? I said, well, I listen to some podcasts and do this. I said, well, you need to start listening to Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I should do that. And so I get a text from him, and it was from the show when I showed me hugging on my brother that. And he is like, the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage is awesome. Just finished listening to it, right?
good.
And so the Matt is out. He's a true American patriot. He's out on the open road,
Yes.
listening in Wisconsin to the Flame Central
let me get a cheese
podcast
curd.
powered by Alcova Mortgage. And he, so
Wow.
thank
Could
you,
he-
Matt.
Yeah.
And I said, Matt, will you do me a favor? Matt Warner, will you do me a favor for Matt Young? Send that kid a mug.
If you ever bring any more in,
Send him up.
I will. This is the
We
last
have
one
been
we have.
waiting
Send
for
him
an
up.
order of the mugs.
Send the kid a mug.
Can he just get on
Send
the
it
old
again.
radio and just
Yeah.
tell his other trucker
We-
buddies about it
Breaker
too?
one
Yeah.
nine.
This
Yeah.
is why we need
Breaker,
a
breaker,
new photo
19.
shoot
Yeah.
because this.
We need to update the
I
radio.
think
update
Joe just got a bunch of these mugs and went to the fax machine and just went like this with
You always gotta
it.
take shots. Now let me tell my other story.
Okay.
Another story. It was the 6th annual FISWA, the father-son weekend. So it's me and my high school buddies. It's the FISWA. FISWA 6. And it was at Smith Mountain Lake. Usually my buddy hosts at Shenandoah River at his cabin. We've gone to a few different locations. This year was my turn. And so I said, we're going to Smith Mountain Lake. So we go to Smith Mountain Lake, and it was Pirates Weekend at Smith Mountain Lake. You didn't know that or not, but everybody shoots water guns at each other at Pirates Weekend.
They
and
used to have water balloons, but then all the fish people were,
So Fist was 6 was titled A Pirate's Treasure. And so my buddy Greg, he's the best, right? Greg Bertiva. So he's there. So he and Greg's 54.
55-yard field goal to win a high school.
To win high school football game, 31-28 over the Herndon Hornets. So Greg says, Reese, my little Reese, knee boards. Yeah. And Greg's like, I want a knee board. And I'm like, this won't go well. Yeah. Right? I'm like, go ahead. We'll knee board you up. Right? And so I'm thinking in my mind, this isn't going to go well. Right? And I hit the gas on the boat, and Greg pops up like that. And I'm like, whoa, how did that so he's kneeboard. And next thing I know, this dude is carving it up. I mean, he is carving. And I'm like, where did this come? Well, little I know, Greg was a really good kneeboarder back in his day. I didn't know this. And so, but he hadn't done it in 30 years or whatever. Okay. But it's like riding a bike, he said. It all comes back. So this gets better. So he does it, and he's, out carving, doing all this. He's feeling, he gets wide on the wake and everything. He gets back in the boat. I say, Greg, and knowing this had zero chance. I say, Greg, I'll give you $1,000 if you jump the wake, right? And he's like, oh, okay, I'll make it right. I said, I need you totally committed. So I took him back out. He hits it wide, goes way wide over the wake, and I go, okay, here he goes. He comes back completely committed, hits the wake on the knee board, and I mean, he sails. And we got a great picture of him, snapshot, we were videotaping, snapshot video, where he is way up there, and the board is almost behind him. And it was one of the best wipeouts I've seen in a long time.
Is he still with us?
Oh, he's still
okay, good.
It was beautiful.
That always asks the most important question.
It was beautiful. So I couldn't be more proud of my good old high school buddy, Greg Bertiva.
Yeah.
I know.
And we had a great weekend.
Yeah.
I know everyone is better off today listening to that story. So you're welcome. Some other breaking news from the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Did
Matt
you get
Warner
$5,000
has resigned from the JPL.
Oh, yeah, I guess we hadn't shared that.
So, looks like there's an open spot.
There's an open spot. Yeah.
This is, you know what Matt did? I give Matt credit. I could sense it a little bit, right? And so I was out of town.
Joe wasn't even there.
I wasn't even there. Matt played.
I think that was purposely planned.
Matt played for the Devil's Knob Championship, and he won it convincingly won the Devil. So he sent me a text, and he said I'm out of the JP, and he sent me a meme of a horse riding off into the sunset. Yeah. and then on top of that, I come out to the court a couple days later. He left his shoes hanging over the fence.
That's right.
And guess what, Matt?
It's a symbol.
And guess what, Matt? They're still there today.
Great. That's great.
They're still staying. Somebody said to me the other day, they said, are you ever going to move those shoes? I said, no.
Yeah,
they're staying right there.
That's
well, since there's an open spot and I won't be taking it, if you want to submit in your application, Flame Central at liberty.edu, you can send your application, or if you have questions or concerns.
Application video, make an application video. It's kind of like trying to get on like American Idol or something. You just send us, whatever information
and we'll go through those on the next show. And hey, we have Flames Fantasy Draft. I will be defending my crown. We're going to do that here in a couple weeks. What's our guy? Our point system? We need to get him back.
Oh, the guy's the point guy out of Idaho.
Oh my gosh, he forgot his name. Oh my gosh, he is going to be so
embarrassing.
Oh man,
he's a faithful listener.
I know.
I have his trophy in my office.
I know. It's so bad.
It's like
we'll do that in the coming weeks.
The Snell scoring system. Oh, that was embarrassing.
So, we have it all for you on the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. You can join the JPL Pickleball League, or if you're looking to buy a house, we got to get with Coach LaCroix to see if we got to get him hooked up with Joe.
Why not get big savings?
Because there's some big deals going on.
Yeah, up to $5,000 closing costs, savings potentially, and 1% off whatever your loan amount is. Up to $5,000. Alcova.com/Liberty. I've gotten good at that.
That's so good. I finally remembered. 3-letter website. All right. So for Joe and Matt, I'm Emily. I think that's it for this week. Anything else that we?
I can tease for the TV show this week, Flame Central TV show. Couple of things. We have a great story. We'll have all the coverage of Conference USA Media Day as well. But great story with none other than Toby Mack.
Let's
about,
go.
did you know?
I got it. Did you know?
Basically,
about
I know you grew up by him. Yeah. Basically, he's the reason the Liberty Golf program started.
Stop it.
True story. He shares that with us.
I think I heard that
Yeah,
story.
he shares that with us and about his love of the game of golf. And so that story this week.
Toby Mack grew up down the street from me.
Yeah,
he did.
You
His dad was a realtor, sold us our house. And then my brother went to high school with his sister.
Is it true that you inspired his rap career?
Well,
in
you
the
know
early days?
what happened was I was in the front yard rapping one day.
Yeah,
I think I was in the 7th grade, 8th grade,
Yeah.
something like that. And I was rapping in the front yard. This was back when the Beastie Boys were big.
Right.
And he drove by and he said, "What are you doing?"
What
I
is
said,
this?
I'm just freestyling.
Yeah.
Joey freestyle.
Joey freestyle. Joey freestyle.
It was Joey
He
Freshwater.
said, "Can I try that?" I said, "Well, come on, let me get a beat going."
Yeah.
And so I hit the human beatbox for him.
Right.
I hit the human beatbox, and then the next thing you know, Toby Mack launches a career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
You heard it
Because
here
of
first.
Joey freestyle.
It all goes back to Joe
Thank
Yacht.
you.
Everything goes back to
Everything.
Joe Yacht.
Matt and I have one story. Joe has two.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
that's
four.
just that's just the way it goes. Thanks so much for listening or watching. Remember, be a part of the show. Flame Central at liberty.edu. We'll have some more great coverage of Liberty football and heading into fall camp and weeks to come. So don't forget, stay with us and watch each and every Monday. For Joe and Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you then.
Peace.